So we have three situations here. Take a minute to read them. I'll read them to you. But you should pause this, take a minute to read these, see if you can match the correct graphs as we go. All right, it says Casey starts her riding her bike and then stops for a short period of time. This one right here, whoever starts riding seems to go fast and stops for a long period of time. We see start riding short period, start riding short period. Okay, so one of these two probably. She continues riding at the same pace until she slows down and rides at a slower pace. So, this one continues riding at a quicker pace. This one appears to ride at the same angle, which means it's the same pace. And then see, she slows down for a slower pace but keeps riding. Clearly, this graph represents Casey. Now let's talk about Jamal. Jamal starts riding his bike at a very fast pace until he stops for a long period of time. Well, clearly we know what that is. Very fast is the fastest of all three, and stops for a long period. It's the only long rest we see. And then he continues riding at a slower pace, which we see right there. This is Jamal. Now I know this is Anita, but let's read it. Anita starts riding her bike for a long period of time, which we see that's a pretty good period. Then stops and takes a short break, and then she continues at a faster pace. See how it gets steeper? Until stopping. Maybe she made it home. There we go. We're matching the situation to the graph. Okay, let's go on down here. Now we're going to talk about scale. The scale of a graph refers to the distance or interval between tick marks on the x and y axes. Each tick mark on the x-axis represents what? Well, we see on the x-axis it's going up 1, 2, 3, so it's going up 1 unit each time. How about on the y-axis? Is it the same? No, it goes up 0 to 5 to 10 to 15. So each tick mark represents 5 units. We really got to work on our scale. So let's look right here. We're going to talk about using appropriate scales. Graph 580, negative 36, 48, 25, negative 91, 38, 95, negative 10, negative 50, and 1, 2. These are all ordered pairs. Before we graph it, we have to determine what kind of a scale are we going to use on our chosen set of axes right here. Well, step 1, find the least and greatest x and y coordinates. By the way, if yours doesn't have it, make sure that says y right there. So what is our minimum x value? If I look at all my x values here, see I have 5, negative 36. So far that's the lowest. 25, 38, negative 10, 1. Nope, negative 36 is my minimum. What's my maximum x value? 5, nope. 25 so far. 38, ooh, even bigger. Negative 10, 1. Okay, 38 wins. So our x is negative 36 at minimum and 38 at maximum. Now let's look at our y. Our y. What's my minimum y? Not 80, not 48. Ooh, negative 91 looks super low. Anything beat negative 91? Nope. Negative 91. And what is our maximum? Well, 80 is pretty up there. Higher than that, higher than that. Oh, 95. 95 is our maximum y value. Those are pretty big. So now we got to find a scale that we don't want to start on a 91 and end on a negative 91 and end on a 95. We need something a little bit more regular than that. So how about for the x direction, negative 36? Let's round that to negative 40. And let's go from negative 40 to round that up to positive 40. And how about y? I would say that's close to negative 100, so let's go negative 100. That's close to positive 100, so to positive 100. And let's look over here. There is 10 tick marks on each side going up and down. So in the x direction, if I want to go negative 40 and negative 40, I have 10. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make every 2 tick marks worth 10. 20. 30. And I know I only need to go to 40, but might as well carry it out to 50. And the same going backwards. Negative 10. Negative 20. Negative 30. Negative 40. And negative 50. And if there's 10 going either direction, I need to make sure every single tick mark is worth 10. So I'm going to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And down here, negative 10, 20, 30, 40, negative 50, and 60, 70, 80, 90, negative 100. Now this is an awfully small graph. We're going to do our best to label everything we can, but we want to graph all our ordered pairs as best we can. So let's do this. We know our first one is 580. And by the way, if every 2 is going up 10, then every single one is going up how many? 5. Okay? So our scale, if I were to write down our scale for this, our scale in the x-axis, each tick is 5 units. In the y-axis, each tick is 10 units. Now let's graph. We're going to have to estimate a little bit, but we'll do our best. The first one says 580, so I'm going to go out 5 and then up to 80. The second one says negative 36, 48. Okay, so we're going to go negative 10, 20, 30. Oh, I didn't fill those in very well, did I? So negative 10, 20, 30, and then 36 is just a little above halfway in between. And now we need to go over 48. So that's right up to 50. Oh, I'm sorry. I went in the wrong direction. Negative 10, negative 20, negative 35, negative 36, and now up to 50. All right, just a little bit below 50. So we're kind of guessing right here. I almost did my y first instead of my x. And our next one says 25, negative 91. So by the way, this was negative 36, 48. We should label the first one as 580. Now we're going to do 25, negative 91. So 25 and then down negative 90. Negative 91 is just a little bit past that, so that's going to be 25, negative 91. Let's go ahead and do the next one is 38.95. So 38 is going to be about right here, just a little bit before the 40. And now we need to go up to what? So 38.95. So almost to 100, just halfway in between. That is 38.95. There's 2 more. Negative 10, negative 50 is easy. It's right on a tick mark. So that is negative 10, negative 50. Then our last one is 122. So we're going to have to guess where 1's at. And then also, we go up 10, 22 is a little bit up past. So this is 122. These are not exact because we had to estimate, but because we made a scale, we're able to graph every one of our points. They all fit on there. And it's a pretty decent estimation. All right? So you have this all written down, labeled. I know it takes some time, but we're going to get used to it and do a great job. All right, let's move on to the next one. It's really just our last problem of the day. It says, all right, we want to talk about the origin. The origin is that 0, 0 point. Scarlett opened her first frozen yogurt shop in 2010. Since then, she has expanded and opened more shops. The table shows the total number of frozen yogurt shops Scarlett has opened over the years. Okay, so let's take a look at this. 2010, she had 1 yogurt shop. In 2011, 9, on and on, till 2016, she has 98. So what should the origin represent in this relationship? The origin, that 0, 0 point, right? And that's going to be that point right here, that 0, 0. What does that 0, 0 represent? Well, let's decide. First of all, it should be noted that this is your x values and these are your y values. So if x represents the year, what do I want my x-axis to represent? Well, it's going to represent time, And specifically, I want to start in the year 2010 because that's when she started building shops. So we're starting in 2010. And then what should 0y represent? So first we have the year. The origin should represent the year 2010. And then if that's true, y represents yogurt shops. So 0 would represent what? It'd represent 0 shops. Now you may be thinking, wait, wouldn't it represent 1 shop because she has 1 shop in 2010? No, we're just going to mark 1 on the scale when we do it. So now let's look at our minimum and maximums. We need to choose an appropriate scale. Or actually, step 1, choose the independent variable x and the dependent variable y. We already kind of foreshadowed that. X is the year, and y is the number of frozen yogurt shops. Next, choose an appropriate scale. Well, let's see. X goes from what? It goes from 2010 to 2020. Okay? And what does Y do? Y goes from 1 to 98. So what's our scale going to be? Well, our scale is going to be from 2010 to 2020. Just like we have there. And right here, we're going to round it, and we're going to go from 0 to 100 in the y direction. And if you count right here, it turns out I have 20 going up and 20 going over, and I only need to go 10 numbers. So check it out. I'm going to make every 2 tick marks a year. So right here is going to be our origin. And let's go ahead and darken this in. If you have a straight edge, get it out right now. I mean time, and up here we're going to have number of shops. Let's fill this arrow in. What did I tell you? We always want to put arrows in there. This is my Y. We're going to label that Y. And then over here, here's my x-axis, and let's label it. Since I have 20 and I'm going 10, I'm going to start out with 2010, and every 2 tick marks is going to be a year. So we're going to have 2011, 2012, and I'm just going to alternate them up and down. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. Okay? And now let's make sure we do the number of yogurt shops. Since we need to go from 0 to 100, and I've got 20 going up here, 20 goes into 100, 5 times, which means I'm going to make every tick mark 5 or every 2 tick marks 10. So I'm just going to label all my tick marks. I like to make it look nice. Graphing for me, as weird as it sounds, like adult coloring pages. Just kind of relaxing. So what do we have right here? We have 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. And let's go ahead and graph all our points now. So we see in 2010, so just to the origin here, there's only 1. So that's about right here. Excuse me. In 2011, right here, we have 9, just a little bit before 10. In 2012 is 23. Whew, we really shoot up there. And 2013 is 47. There we go. 45, 6, 7, a little bit over halfway, or under halfway. 2014, it says 61. 2015 is 75. And last but not least, 2016 is what? 98. I know we included those numbers up to 2020, but this is all we had data for. And we can see this is actually, it's not a straight line, but it's not bad. It's good growth, right? Okay? And that is how you choose an origin, choose a scale, and graph the relation. With that said, peace out.